Well, so I guess I've been driving all over town, can't find a fucking car wash. That'll work for me. Oh, the fuck will. I don't know. This is what I can tell you. We're in a bad spot. We're in a bad spot. Personally, professionally. And I don't see any signs of recovery. I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe, but I don't believe that the cost of goods sold are going to come down much. I don't think so. Maybe at some point, maybe, but shit just keeps still going wrong. And when you act like people are stupid because they're Christians, or people are stupid because they're MAGA, and some of them are. You're making this shit about social issues, and it shouldn't be. And those of you who are buying into the bullshit too. I mean, come on, dude. Really? Yeah, the border needs to be secure. What's the point in having a fucking border if you don't secure it? What's the fucking point? That's stupid. It needs to be secure. The people who are coming across the border, the majority of them are men. And the reason why they're coming across the border isn't necessarily to rape, pillage, and steal, but they've been brought across there by coyotes who cost them, charge them a shit ton of money, and they're holding their fucking families hostage there, and they got to pay something. If they can't pay it, well, what do? You know, they're gonna steal, they're gonna rob. Yeah, and it's I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's what's happening. So the money goes back up across to Mexico to the cartels. They're selling drugs, laced fentanyl from fucking China. So it's basic economics. You take money from one place and you give it to the other. In Oklahoma, we got a really stupid thing, this medical marijuana. And I'm not talking bad about the medical marijuana. It's this growing thing. There's a plumbing company, you know, they got grow houses. We've done work for them. We help put in a hydroponic system, do whatever, help them do it. And you want to know, it's always a local company, local person, a resident that has to carry the license for that. But in almost every single case, there's an outside investor. What the fuck is an outside investor? It's a fucking bunch of bullshit. And so let me tell you something. Whenever you're going and buying that weed or whatever, and this isn't, I'm just so you know, whenever you're buying the weed, you know, a lot of that money's not staying in the local economy, it's going to other places. That's basic economics. Really fucking simple. And that's what's happening at the border. And I'll tell you a little something about drugs. And a little something about trafficking. Trafficking drugs. Drugs is a consumable product. It's one and done. You buy it, you gotta produce it to make more. People, you can sell them 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times, 7 or 8 times. So you have places like the cartels that are selling drugs, and trafficking people, and children and babies, whatever, all of that shit. That's what they're doing. But you know what? If you have a secure border, it's going to limit that shit. What about the people who want to try to get in, who do things right? Not just down in South, not just south of the border, but there's whole other countries where people would like to come in. So secure the fucking border. What's the point if you don't have a fucking border? I mean, come on. You're going to make it about, You're going to make it about a MAGA thing or whatever. It's not. It's what we need to do. If you deter this shit, you're not going to have so many people. There's only so many people that come across there. What the fuck? I mean, it's just common sense. And then you bitch and moan and complain because Texas or whoever it is sending money to other states. Well, where else are they fucking supposed to go? Are you sending federal dollars to do that? Whenever they don't behave a certain way, you're going to withhold your federal grants or whatever from that state, and then you still expect them to cover. Maybe that's not really happening. I don't know. You know, but I can see that this is the systems that come up. You know, everyone hates on the conservatives that hate on China or whatever. You know, and Russia's this evil fucking, you know, enemy. And you know, I mean, Putin's KGB. You know, it's I mean, yeah, he's a scary motherfucker. You know, he may not personally kill you, but they do some pretty nasty shit. Pretty nasty shit if you're an enemy. They don't give a shit. China creates a lot of cheap products. Even plumbing. You got to pay a lot of more money if we want to buy domestic pipe. Most of the pipe, and this has been going on for a long time, most of the products are made in China. And they're a whole lot cheaper. Can you imagine it? They ship that shit, you know, a tremendous amount of fuel to get it from one side of the world to the other. You would think that they would actually cost more to get that stuff over here. I wonder why it costs less. You know why it costs less? It's because the cost of manufacturing is lower. Because they don't have a labor shortage. You know why they don't have a labor shortage? Because they have a centralized government that tells them they have to work and they have to do it. And whenever you support a centralized government that tries to mandate behaviors and words and speeches, and you say that people are paranoid, well, it's a system that's bad. It's a system that's set up for the potential. You know, we wear seatbelts, right? We wear seatbelts. Not to keep us inside the truck. We don't need a seatbelt to drive. We don't need a seatbelt to drive. We need a seatbelt for the possibility because there's a potential for a car wreck. So we protect ourselves. That's the whole point. That's what the Constitution is for. Let me go on to that. You know what? An AR-15 is a fucking musket. You know what it is? The Second Amendment is what gives the Constitution its teeth. There's a reason why it's there. There's a reason why it still needs it. The 30-round magazines, tough shit. They need to be 30-round magazines. There need to be. Okay? Yeah, it sucks whenever babies get shot, and it's disgusting and it's horrible. I don't know if you noticed, the shit started up more, and it seems to have more to do with social media. I'm not going to even get into that. I got my own opinions about that. A well-regulated militia, okay? We all know what that means, truly. It's not a well-regulated militia that is regulated by regulated by who? That's not the point. The point is so you have a local ability to protect yourselves from tyranny. That's what it's there for. Not to be regulated by the military. I mean, come on, motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not very good Christian. My fucking bad words roll off my tongue. I don't even have to think about it. People who come to church that are really only there because they like the politics, because they have this conservative bent. Okay? And yet words you say, the things I see on social media, these little share this meme if you're a Christian, whatever. Half of these motherfuckers don't even go to church. And if you do go to church, you don't tithe. You don't support the church. That shit costs money to keep that shit going. Now look at yourself. Are you really trying to share the gospel? Because you know what I see? I see a bunch of fucking motherfuckers that are just arguing against social issues instead of doing something about it. You're alienating people. You're alienating people. Focusing on pronouns, turning that into a big deal. Well, no, the government shouldn't compel it. You know, but at the same time, who gives a fuck? They want to call them fucking they. Whatever. It's stupid, I think. Whatever. I don't care. Transgenders. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's real. Whatever. You know, gender dysphoria, body dysphoria. I think there's a lot of that. That's bullshit. But I can tell you this. They're just fucking people. They're just kids who are lost. If you perceive these people as being wrong and being led down the wrong path, well, maybe you need to be a missionary. What does a missionary do? What is the first thing they do whenever they want to spread the gospel? They go find somebody who doesn't know Jesus. There's no point in being a missionary if you're not spreading the gospel to people who don't know it. Well, how do you do that? You learn their language. You've got to be able to communicate with them. And then you've got to be able to show them love. Love is not a word. Love is an action. How do you do that? You feed them. Whatever. You don't tell them they're fucking stupid. You don't tell them, if you don't do this, you're a fucking idiot. Or you're destroying this world because of this, because of that. No, you show them that you care. You show them love. You know, for those of us who have family members who are dealing with this stuff, if we come to a pastor or somebody in leadership and we bring to them, you know, how do we talk to our family about this? What do we do? What's your opinion on it? You know, my son comes to me and he says he's gay, and that's not what's happened with me. My son, maybe he is, I don't care. As far as that, I love him, no matter what. And I'm not getting into any of this shit because it's not my place to talk about. But let me tell you something that's not an answer when somebody comes and asks you for help. To what do you say? And you shrug your shoulders and you say, well, I don't know, but this ain't the solution. That's stupid. That's a fucking stupid thing to say. That's lazy. It's lazy. There are resources. I found them on my own. You know, there's things you can do. There's things you can say. There's things you can demonstrate. Just the other day, I ran a service call for somebody. And I thought it was a lesbian who was married because she mentioned her wife. And I went out there and I did the job. And one of the things I do whenever I do my job is I get to know people. That's how you know. That's how you have to build a relationship with somebody so that you can trust them, so that you know what they need. You have to understand that. You have to know where they're coming from. And we're not going to discriminate. Yep. You are who you are. You believe what you believe. I'm not going to pull punches. I'm not going to say that the Bible doesn't say this. I don't know. I mean, the Bible says a lot of shit that I don't like. You know, but I don't know. I'm not going to dilute it. That's just the way it is. But I'm also not going to treat them like shit. So I met this person and I talked to this person about music, about the shit that we had in common. And what it came out, what came to be was that, this was a transgender woman. It was a dude that transitioned to a chick. I couldn't tell. I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot of what you can tell. I was shocked. I thought lesbian, but nope. Dude that transitioned from a woman, and he's married. I don't get into this. I had a conversation with them, and I'm switching back and forth, saying he, she, because I'm not used to it. I don't, you tell me these things, and I'm talking about it. Whatever, I'm not doing it to try to insult you, but you know what? This person, we had a conversation about those issues, and there was no, I'm a Christian and you're bad, or you're a Christian and you're filled with hate. It was two people who are talking and getting to know each other and understanding where each other is coming from. We wouldn't have been able, I couldn't come to them with this. This person met somebody who's a Christian, who knows they care, who isn't diluting the gospel. It says what it says. A lot of the Old Testament bullshit, a lot of that stuff is pointing to Jesus. That's part of why it's there. It's a big part of why it's there. I'm not going to justify, I'm not going to dilute, whatever. Another thing, new churches. Something that really fucking pisses me off is ridiculous. You can't have it both ways. Those churches, they're welcome. You are welcome. Come. Come before you believe. We love you. We want you to be involved in the church. Let us know. But one of two things. You can't serve, and you can't work for the church. And that's, I understand it. I mean, it's a doctrine. There's no point in having a church without a doctrine. You can't just expect for a church that's operated this way, based on a doctrine, based on their spiritual beliefs, to just change for the convenience because all of a sudden now transgenderism becomes this huge fucking issue. You can't expect them to change. But you know what? As a church, you can't hire people who are shacking up and working for you. You can't play these games where, we're going to put you on the facility staff because they don't have to sign a contract. They don't, or whatever, a morality thing. And then have them volunteer in some other place. But you know what? They're shacking up. They ain't married. It's fucking bullshit. None of this shit helps. In the meantime, having to navigate all this shit. Everyone has the same fucking problems, man. Whether or not you realize it or not. The people you think you should hate are the people who you do business with. They're the people who you meet on the road. They're the people who are pumping gas. They're the people you fucking hold the goddamn door open for. Not Trump. Not Biden. Nobody in Washington. Nobody at Wall Street. Not Wall Street. It's all local. And you need to remember that shit. You need to not hate on somebody because they want you to call you a they, and the federal government shouldn't be fucking mandating somebody to say they, and you shouldn't be fucking threatening to take kids away from their parents. You guys who are convinced that because your parents won't say your pronoun because they won't accept that you're a woman or that you're a man. Do you know what the reason why they don't is because they care about you. Have you ever heard that, if they didn't care about you, they wouldn't say anything. They do care. At least most of them. Don't let these motherfuckers try to convince you that these people are filled with hate. Because they're not. They're fucking scared. You know, we see these things as blowing up to this whole huge issue. In the meantime, you guys are sterilizing yourself. We already, the world's not overpopulated. There's plenty of room. Plenty of room. We don't need to bankrupt industries. We don't just need to say, oh, well, we're going to do this. We're going to make it green. I don't know how we're going to get there, but we're going to do it. Whatever. We're just going to shut down the coal industry. Whatever. This is all federal government bullshit. And this is what I say. This is what I say to all the people. And I'm a Christian. I claim to be. I do a lot of the things that it says to do. And I have a potty mouth that I can tell you this. If you're in this list and you're doing these things, I can tell you this. I can tell you, fuck you. And I'll tell you, fuck off. And on your way out, you can go fuck yourself. Because it's bullshit. And you're stupid. You act stupid. People who buy into this shit, you need to turn around and look. Because the people who they've convinced you hate you and you should hate are the same people that are supporting you. And they're keeping industry going. You need to remember that shit. Small businesses. These people who are being hurt by federal government, by these mandates and all this stupidity. It ain't over with. This shit comes around. So, anyway. Drove around town, bitch, for about an hour and a half and never found a car wash. I gotta explain that to Kathy. Anyway. So in conclusion, it bears repeating. Fuck you. Fuck off. And on your way out, fuck yourself.